Welcome to another episode of Supersize We, comedians in cars, spilling condiments. I am one of your hosts. I am Ryan Danley in North Portland, Oregon. With me, as always, is geez, he's looking like his hair is flowing and like looking like the longest locks of Portland comedy. Kyle Adams, where are you at, man? Are you in Southeast?
I'm in Gresham.
Oh, that's right. That's
I'm apparently in the dining section of this Gresham parking lot. This is where the finest come to dine. Uh, this is I think this is great. This is like the only shady spot over here, but it feels like home. It feels like Florida in Gresham, so I like that. I feel very comfortable
sure.
out here.
It's like Gresham, just like you leave Portland and it's like kind of the bubble just pops right as you get to about Troutdale, and then you just out. Speaking of the bubble popping, we have one of my favorite comedians ever on the show today. He just vanished for a second, but he was one of the first people I reached out to when I started doing comedy. He is a Sacramento comedy legend. He has an amazing episode or special on Amazon Prime. I suggest everybody go like it and watch it and leave a good review of it. We have Keith Lowell Jensen. What's up, Keith?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
We lost you visually. Are you still there?
Yeah, I was looking something up. I didn't have to turn my camera off. Do you guys release the video?
Yes, we do. We do. It's a web.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would have been more careful. I thought you were just recording the audio.
No. We figure people want to see our food. You know what I mean? They want to enjoy the beautiful fast food that we dig in.
All right.
So
I like the parts. I like the parts where you talked about how great I am.
Yeah, there was that part. Yeah.
That was good.
I saw you when you were up
that.
here. I saw you when you were up here. Remember? That was fun.
Yeah, that was at that little theater. I was like last minute. I found out I didn't have the venue that I had booked like 4 months earlier.
Yeah.
And so we jumped over to some little tiny theater. I wish I could remember the name of it because they were really cool. They were very nice.
Yeah, I've never, in all the comedy I've done since, I've never seen anything else done there. But it was a great space for comedy, and it was nice. Noriko Ott, a friend of the show, opened up for you. That was awesome. So
yeah, he was wonderful.
Yeah, he's one of the good guys. That guy. So
yeah.
So what's going on with you? How's Sacramento? How's comedy reopening? All the things.
Some of my comedian friends have really jumped in with both feet. I've done a few gigs. I've had 1 week back in the professional club, working with Chris Porter, where I actually did what I do for a living, like work for a Thursday through Saturday.
Right.
6 shows, and that was fun and weird. But I haven't hit any open mic nights. I did 1 showcase with Johnny, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple other shows here and there. I'm really just kind of tiptoeing back in. I don't know. It's like we're opening back up, but I don't trust it. I just keep waiting for things to go awful again.
Yeah, so. It's a Delta variety on its way. We're just getting a reminder of what could have been, and then it's going to be all party time after that. It's going to be interesting. So we will see.
That's what I worry about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That being said, I've been doing some comedy. I've done a couple shows. I did some time in Denver, and Kyle and I were on a show together a few days ago and down in Salem. That was awesome, actually. So.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah, there was
there's children there.
There
was children, elderly people. It was all ages. It was great.
Yeah. And you know what?
And the audiences are so excited to be back at it,
Yeah, it's funny because you're seeing like this, like it started out and we kind of thought it was going to be it was an outside at a park in Salem, Oregon, and we thought it was going to be like a low turnout. At first there was just people, and then by the end there was like 30, 40 people there, and you're like, okay, this is a good night for comedy, it's like,
Right.
we kind of felt like, I don't know, felt totally legit. It was a good time. So, but yeah, I can understand like tiptoeing back into it. It was like a little weird at first, like, I didn't want to eat or drink anything anywhere. You know what I mean? I just
Right.
like I went to a mic at this pizza place that we have in town, and like everybody was ordering pizza. I'm like, oh, did you get some pizza? And I went up there and looked at it. I was like, I don't know. Like, I spent the last year convincing myself everything is poison. Now I have to
Right.
retrain my brain to be like human again.
There's a New York comedian named Nat Towson, who's a great guy, one of my favorite comics. But he came out to do some gigs with me, and he said, "Oh, do they feed you at the club?" And I said, "Yeah." This was before the pandemic, but he said, "Do they feed you at the club?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, okay." And so then he held off getting food, like we were stopping for food, and he told me, "Always eat at the club. Consider it a part of your pay." He's like, if you go pay for food when you could have eaten free at the club, you got paid less. And I was like, okay. And what's funny is it really, like, for some reason, it just stuck in my head. So now I make myself do that. I'm like, oh, I'll plan ahead of time. I'm like, oh, okay, they have a hummus platter. I can have that. And some avocado,
Oh, for sure. It's like continental breakfast. Like if you're like not getting continental breakfast on the road, you're missing you know what I mean? It's just like
You gotta
take those opportunities where you can. So that's
oh man. And I used to tour as an MC for this animation festival, and the continental breakfast, man, I would load up a day's worth of food into my backpack. I'd be over there making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at the toaster. I put them in my backpack. I made that continental breakfast go a long way.
That's beautiful.
And all you got to do is be nice to the people that work there, and they don't care.
Yeah,
they
right. They don't give a shit. So they're like, I work at the hotel, and I take the stuff from the back and put it out here. Yeah, if you want 90 mini muffins, go for it.
Right?
Last I checked, there was no rule. You know what I mean? So
right.
I did that when I was eating out a lot.
Yeah,
I took like 3 things of cereal, like 4 bananas.
Right.
I'm kind of excited for our food today because it's different than anything we've gotten before. Keith, if anybody doesn't know this, is a vegan, and not like the annoying vegan friend that you have. He's like just like when I was vegan actually for 12 years, or excuse me, for 8 years, and vegetarian for 4, when I was younger, and I knew to be like the good vegetarian or vegan friend, like I would still like have people over, and I would make like good friends, and I never try to weaponize it. And I think I always appreciate that about you, that it doesn't seem like you have an opinion about it, but it's not like it's not your personality. You know what I mean? So it's been a good, so I'm excited to eat some vegan fast food with you today.
You know what's funny is that when I first went vegan, I was always sensitive about that. Like when I would tell people I was a vegan, I'd always be like with a disclaimer, but I don't, care what you eat, and I'm not going to be a jerk about it. But I tell you what, like since then, I'm like, you know what? That's how most vegans are. I think it's a myth that vegans are preachy assholes. There's, 1 or 2, but they're not nearly as bad as the fucking bacon. We can curse, right?
Yes.
The bacon people, man. I hate the bacon people. You can't post anything without them being like, you got to put bacon on there, and I like bacon. Like, there should be more to your personality than the fact that you like bacon.
Exactly. It's such a hack bit at this point. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
it really is.
You got to put bacon on it, and you're like, it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. You like bacon, and the thing is, like with bacon, it was like there was one time for a long time it was demonized, and then it became trendy because it was demonized. It's like It's like mesh back hats. You know what I mean? Like mesh back hats were just like redneck trucker hats, and everybody made fun of them.
Right.
And then people started wearing them like ironically, and then now they're like, so like Bacon went through that process too. It's like Bacon.
That's
Bacon
a good way to look at it.
Yeah, Bacon was like the ultimate evil, like in the 80s and 90s. It was like Bacon's gonna kill you, and so everybody all of a sudden was like, oh well, Bacon's actually delicious in this thing. And now just people just won't shut up about it, and it's like, and I like bacon, but I like bacon like there's enough bacon. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we need to, like I don't think it's like when people start to like, well, we're gonna do like, I don't drink, but people are like, we do vodka infused bacon and all this. I'm like, you people are out of your minds. Like, just eat some, like if you like bacon, just eat some for breakfast. Maybe like in some pasta or like what you know what I mean? Like whatever. Like it's like I have a new ham bit that kind of like tries to take a little wind out of the sails of bacon. That ham is the better option.
Let the ham versus bacon wars begin.
I'm about it. I'm pro ham. But yeah, and it's also like, but like if you're gonna post that you're a vegan or vegetarian, and somebody's it's just that bro culture that just like kind of thrives in people. It's like, okay, so you like bacon, good for you, yay! Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it seems like a dare. It's almost like how much can you eat? Like it's just fucking
exactly.
ridiculous. It's kind of redundant.
And they want us to get upset. Like we'll post a picture of some vegan food we made, and they'll be like, needs bacon, and I'll be like, no, okay. What do they want me to say at this point? I'm like, the joke's run its course. Yes, it needs bacon. Oh, you.
Exactly. It's actually like that. Like with juice, everybody's always like, "Oh, you should put some vodka in it." You're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
So you're just an alcoholic. Okay, that's cool. Like, that's not we get it. Vodka. I mean, there's even like a vodka drink that's made with milk. Like we get it. It's like like you put vodka in stuff. Well, it's a white Russian.
No, I know what it is, but when you say it like that, it's just gross.
Well, it's gross, but it's anyways. Well, so we went to Del Taco, and Del Taco has Beyond Burger stuff on it.
Dude, they just jumped up and took the vegan fast food ring away from Taco Bell. Lifelong Taco Bell fan. I couldn't believe it. Del Taco jumped ahead of them.
Well, and they did it kind of at a good time because Taco Bell, like for a minute there, they're back, but killed the potato tacos, which I thought was like a brilliant because like
I'm still mourning the loss of Mexican pizza.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, they got rid of the 7-layer burrito. I mean, they screwed everything up. What are you doing, Taco Bell?
Yeah, exactly. Thank God they brought the spicy potato tacos back because like my daughter's vegetarian, and she's like, it's just like it's nice to buy something with like something in it. You know what I mean? That's got like that's got something like in it. You know what I mean? Rather than just being like, okay, yeah, you can get like a black bean chalupa or whatever, and that's all fine. But the spicy potato, it's like a real thing. Like I love potato tacos, and I eat meat. So.
And I accidentally realized that potato tacos are real. That's actually an authentic thing. Yeah, when it comes to fast food, I don't really care about authenticity, but I thought it was interesting to see potato tacos at like a real Mexican place, a place where I had trouble ordering because my Spanish isn't good,
Sure. So I got a taco. I got a guacamole. I got a guacamole taco, which is and it has Beyond Meat in it.
Did you go crispy or soft shell?
Well, I ordered mine from Postmates, and it kind of was hard to order quickly. So I went crispy just to get like the pure fast food.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I love some like soft corn tortillas if I'm getting like street tacos, but for fast food, I think you got to go crispy.
Yeah, I agree. It's just
agree.
Like we're already kind of, we've already decided we're there. We might as well just go in,
go full in, yeah.
Well, it looks pretty good. So, and the Beyond Meat.
I'll wait. I'll fit right in.
Okay. Oh, that's really good.
Oh yeah.
That's really good.
Now I can't compare it with their beef tacos because I haven't had one of those in over 20 years. So I'd be interested to ask you guys, how's it compare?
I really like it. It almost like a meatless chili, almost. It kind of reminds me of that. And I really like the spices that they use with it, and that's always really important with vegan food. I find the spices that you use can make or break it.
I like it better. I think it's I think that they have taken care of it better than they've kind of the beef. Like it's more crafted. Guacamole is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a decent amount too. It's not much, not too little.
So a few years ago, my friend Greta was working for a PR company that worked with Del Taco. And she's the one that was first telling me they're getting better than Taco Bell. She said they got fresh avocados in the building. They're doing, she said they really just changed everything from the top down. And oh my God, she's right. It's really good.
Yeah,
when you go in there, you see the refrigerator full of all the fresh ingredients, and it's nice.
Yeah, you're like, like just because it's fast food doesn't mean it has to be just like come out of a bucket. You know what I mean? Or like
it's just a bucket of tacos.
Grab a spoon and go in. Did you ever see? So my mom actually worked at Noggles and then Del Taco, or vice versa. They were across the street from each other in Corona when I was a kid. And the most fascinating thing I saw was the hard-boiled eggs on their salad. They got this long egg tube. It was just white gelatinous cylinder, and they would cut it, and it had a yolk running through the middle of it. And it was real egg, but somehow it was cheaper to disassemble the egg and put it back together.
That's really interesting. I wonder how. I'd love to see the machine that makes that. You know what I mean? Like
it was fascinating.
Yeah.
It's just an egg stretcher. They just stretch one egg out completely.
Well, that was a good taco. I'm gonna give it credit for being a good taco.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's very I'm gonna like honestly like you can kind of what's funny is you can kind of taste the Beyond. Do you like Beyond or Impossible better?
I like blowing my nose after a bunch of hot sauce. Sorry.
Okay, that's right.
I can't decide because I like the Beyond Burger at home.
Mm-hmm.
But then in restaurants, some of the best that I've had have been Impossible. So yeah, I go back. I mean, they're both really good. I go back and forth. Trader Joe's just started carrying the 6-pack of Impossible for like $12, which is cheap as I've seen them.
Yeah, that's cheap.
So I'm cooking those at home, but I still think I like the Beyond at home a little bit better. So, but I don't have a real strong preference. They're both really good.
Mm-hmm.
All the other brands I've tried, the Tofurkey brand ground beef is just nasty. I don't like that one at all. And then Trader Joe's, before they made their deal with Impossible, they tried making their own, and it was garbage. It tasted like fried Play-Doh. I think they're still selling it. I think they're selling it next to the Impossible, and I don't know why anyone will buy it. But
right. Tofurkey had their moment. Like everybody was like they had the fun name and they had the but they kind of dropped the ball. I don't know. It's just like something happened there that it just wasn't that. All right. So
yeah, there was a real jump in quality with vegan food, and they have some good products.
Mm-hmm.
But their main, flagship product, the Tofurkey itself, I still eat one every Thanksgiving, but it's really just become a nostalgia thing for me. And I'm big on nostalgia food, especially at the holidays.
Right.
So it is far from the best holiday thing out there for vegans.
Do you like the field roast one?
The field roast one's really good.
Yeah.
And I love the field roast sausages. They're fantastic.
Yeah, those are the ones I was getting on when I was doing vegan for a bit. Was the field
Yeah.
roast and those
So how'd you go on the burrito? Did you go epic or 8-layer?
I went epic.
I went epic with mine.
You guys are bigger. You're more manly than me. I saw that calorie count and I backed right out. I couldn't do it.
This won't top my calorie count this week. So that was good.
So I went the 8-layer with sour cream and the cheese taken off.
Mm-hmm.
Now the epic, you don't have to do anything to. I think that one's already vegan, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The epic guacamole is vegan, and it actually literally says vegan on it. The epic beyond by itself is vegetarian, but they have the guacamole one that's vegan. So basically, they're replacing cheese with guacamole.
I thought that was on the tacos. That's on the burrito too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you hitting some hot sauce on there?
I didn't order hot sauce. I'm kind of bummed that I should have added it. The closest Del Taco to me is pretty far. They just haven't really hit it in downtown Portland anywhere yet. They live in the
I drove about 30 minutes to get to this one.
Yeah,
out in Grafton.
I passed about 3 Taco Bells to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. This is better though. This definitely, and that's hard for me to say because Taco Bell is probably my favorite taco. This is definitely a superior item.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, I think they passed up Taco Bell. And I want to be clear that I'm saying all this on a fast food scale, which I imagine people listening to this podcast understand. But if any foodies are out there going, "Yeah, that's garbage," well, yeah, it's garbage. It's yummy, delicious garbage.
Right. We know. We get it. You know what I mean? Yes, it's I have a culinary degree, and and it's I love great food. I love eating the most amazing birria tacos and ceviches and all of those things.
Right.
But this lives in a different category of life. You know what I mean? This is
And it'd be stupid to deny, Twinkies are delicious. They're not vegan, but, they're delicious. Pop-Tarts are delicious.
Right.
An ice-cold Coca-Cola on a hot day, that's the most garbage drink in the world. It's sugar.
Right.
But it's delicious.
And sometimes that's okay,
Sometimes that's just what you need.
Yeah, so this was really good. The burrito is solid. It's really hearty on the inside. It's got rice and beans and the same Beyond Meat and tomatoes and guacamole, that fresh guacamole again. Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Kyle?
Do you guys have In-N-Out up there?
We have one Kaiser. Yeah.
The line for it is it's been there for a little bit over a year, and the line has never died. Everybody.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Do they have vegan options at In-N-Out?
Not at all. I wish they did. The reason I was asking is we were talking about Del Taco switching to more quality ingredients and fresh ingredients. And I feel like In-N-Out kind of started that.
Right.
And really training their cooks. I had a friend that worked there, and you don't touch that grill unless you've been through Burger University.
Wow.
And that's legit. They actually have Burger University. You got to really know what you're doing.
In-N-Out is when you eat an In-N-Out burger, it's the essence of cheeseburger. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of like the cheeseburger. There's better cheeseburgers. There's all those things, and I'm sure I will get crucified because people love to hate on things like that. But I think In-N-Out is when you eat it, it's the burger that you think of all other burgers are based on. Kind of, it's just
right.
It's that cheeseburger that you had as a kid by the pool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it does have
Iconic.
that kind of a cookout, a cookout burger.
All right, so I interrupted. How was your burrito, Kyle? I cut right in.
It was good. I like the structural integrity of it. There wasn't a lot of mess afterwards, and
Yep.
you can't always say that of Taco Bell, because Taco Bell,
Wait.
I feel like, was ended with that diaper wrapper. You gotta like clean at the end.
Mhm.
Wait, you're done with it already?
Oh yeah, I was hungry. I hadn't eaten today until now, so
That was a whole day's worth of calories, all 3 meals,
oh,
and you just ate
I'm
that
done.
in 2 bites. That was amazing. Man, it's a lot of food.
Mhm.
That's the other thing, is it reminds me of the going as a kid. I loved, like a teenager, I loved going to San Francisco because they'd make those big ass burritos. I didn't know anywhere in Sacramento that made those back then. We have them now, but so yeah, it's nice being able to get a fast food burrito that's substantial, you know,
Sure.
Mhm.
even if I do bitch about the calorie count.
Yeah. It's like, and like the thing is that, like, I mean, for being a big guy, I actually don't eat like heavy things like this all that often. Like, like I eat lots of vegetables. I eat lots of, like, even, like I love meat and I love cars and everything, but I sold produce my whole career. I'm a huge fan of produce. So I actually do eat a lot of it. So, like, when I go for this kind of stuff, like, I know that I'm kind of like swimming in the deep end a little bit, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I just kind of like let it fly. So,
Oh yeah, and I do that at times too. I just didn't prep for it today.
you're like, okay. So,
Yeah, I did my jaw stretches like like a
Right.
Eat it like
I'll
a
get up
bird.
in the morning and eat a really light breakfast. And maybe just stick to coffee because I know that later I want to pig out.
you would be excited that the Comedy Club in Salem, Oregon, the Infinity Room, is now also a vegan restaurant, and we just got meals there for our show on what was that, Saturday, and the burger I had there was vegan, and it was amazing. It was like they have a couple different options. They have like a chickpea patty and like a bunch of different things, but it's a full vegan menu. So if you're ever touring again, you're gonna have to go to Salem and
And the venue, they just put a lot of money into the venue, and it looks it was awesome before, but now it's going to be like a state of the art. They've got 4 different 4K cameras to film everything there.
What's the name of the place?
It's called Infinity Room in Salem.
Okay.
It's by the capital of Oregon. Like it's like Main Street.
Yeah, it used to be called Cap City. It was called Cap City for a while.
Oh, okay.
And really, one of Kyle and I's favorite rooms. And
were they related to Cap City in Austin, which also just closed or changed names or whatever?
I don't know. I don't think
Okay.
I believe so.
I bet every capital of every state has a Cap City.
Probably. But it's but the food there is phenomenal. You would love it. Like they have like amazing vegan donuts that a comedian friend of ours actually made the other day. And like, but they're like legit. It's like legit food. It's so.
Dude, and now I want to do an internship there.
Yeah, you should just get up there and
Come out for a month.
yeah, exactly. And just
my favorite thing was the vegan ranch. They have like a vegan ranch that's really good, and it tastes better than regular ranch. It's actually thicker. It's not liquidy like ranch. Yeah, that was really.
Yeah, my burger had a vegan blue cheese on it, and I really like that. So it's like kind of.
I was just gonna ask how far Salem is from Portland.
About an hour.
It's an hour drive.
That's not bad.
No. So Kyle and I, when we first started hanging out, we would go down to that room a lot when it was the old room, and had some great nights down there, hitting their open mic and being on shows down there, and it's nice to get out of town and do comedy. You know how that is. It's like
How did you had mentioned like early on you reached out to me and Johnny, which that was really cool. Like, not everyone that reaches out is like, hey, I want to do comedy too. We're like, okay,
Right.
after you do it, get a hold of me, 'cause
Sure.
you'll probably go to one open mic and then hate yourself and never do it again. But no, you were cool, and you seem to have like a good attitude about it. But what I either didn't ask you or forgot was, how did you find us?
Well, I found this is funny. I found you because I saw a like a meme that you or somebody put out with your bit about how we shouldn't be spanking kids because they want them to be better than us.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then
That shit went super viral.
yeah, and that's how I feel. So I was like really excited about that. Like, I've never laid a hand. I have 2 kids. One's 18, and I've barely raised my voice, even like twice in my entire parenting thing.
Oh,
so
God, I wish I could say that.
I'm just very chill with them, and they have both turned out absolutely fantastic. And when I see things like that, I'm like, oh, I gotta. So I actually just like looked you up, and you were friends with a friend of mine, mutual friend, and then I just friend requested you, and then we started chatting. Johnny, I pocket friended because he was on your thing, and I had we were in a conversation, and he was in the same conversation, and I put my phone in my pocket, and later it just pocket friended Johnny, and now Johnny and I are we both do hard times and all that stuff, so we're pretty tight too. So he's actually been on this show before.
Your pocket has excellent taste in comedians.
Yeah, it does. Johnny's one of my favorite comedians, and one of my favorite people.
Mine too. He's very funny.
Yep, and he's good people. So
yes,
and your friendship is fun to watch because you guys are funny. It's a cool thing.
So we put together a show called Road Dogs, and I was really excited about it. And it was just because we have had a bunch of funny things happen as we've traveled around the country together. Right. And so it was us on stage together telling these stories and capping on each other a little bit. And we booked a real, funny, I was bitching at Johnny because I would do all the booking, and then he would book for himself. And I was like, dude, you're a really good booker. Like, why am you book us? And so he's like, oh, all right. And it just hadn't occurred to him. So he books us this incredible tour. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. We're going to Denver. We're going to go to Austin. We're going to all these places. And that's when the pandemic hit. We literally did Chico, Sacramento, gone. Sacramento was the last show of that tour. And, put it together again. But I was bummed because that was the Chico show was sold out, 2 shows, and killed. There is something fun about seeing 2 guys that are really good friends. That people love a buddy movie,
Sure, totally.
Each other well and can cap on each other, but affectionately. I feel like it's kind of like what roasts used to be back in the Dean Martin days when they were
Sure. Sure. Not like how can I destroy this person's self-esteem?
I tease Johnny because I'm like, dude, you don't consider a roast successful if someone doesn't kill themselves after. He's brutal.
I'm sure. So that's how I ended up finding you guys, and there's a couple guys here, Dylan Jenkins in town, Adam Posse, and then you 2 are really like my and here we are. I got podcasts. I write for the Hard Times. It's been I'm really the great friends I've made around the way. This guy right here is a great friend of mine, and it's funny how, and real talk for a second, it's just funny how small help makes people feel like they can, and when they feel like they can, it just opens up doors, because this is not something I ever really thought I could do. And so I knew that my friends thought I was funny, and every comic says that, but I didn't know if that would transform into anything. And I don't think I'm going to have a Netflix special next year or anything like that, but I'm doing it, and I'm on shows with great people, and I have great podcasts, and it's just been it's been awesome, So So thank you for that. And just, and it just reminds everybody that when somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I want to do that," be that person. You know what I mean? Because who knows who knows what kind of like amazing doors you can open for somebody, you know?
And the advice I probably gave you, the advice I always give everyone is, I mean, you were talking about just hearing that you can do it. Like, go to an open mic.
Right.
Like, I feel like people don't go to the open mic until they feel like they're going because they're considering getting up. And I'm like, no, if you're even curious, just go and watch. Go be an audience member.
Right.
One, because everyone should do that anyway. It's a great way to support your local comedians. But once you see real people doing it, then it becomes something you can do.
Right.
Or even when you see people that are professionals, but they're working on new stuff and it's kind of rough and it's not, polished from touring it all over the place. It makes it accessible. It makes it stop being this magic thing that you don't know how it happens.
Right. And exactly. It's like the open mic thing is like, you really realize pretty quick that you get up there and you think like you suck and you matter, and then you realize kind of pretty quick that it kind of doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of just like, if you're just going to be like an open mic person, it matters. You can do this as much as you want to do it. You can get better as much as you want to get it. But if you're just going to go to open mics and do it, just do it. And like, nobody's going to remember one way or another. You know what I mean? It's just like, just go do your shit and figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you so don't want to bomb. You so don't want to be a hack when you're new, because it feels like some permanent stain on your soul.
Exactly.
And if there's anything that I could go back in time and tell younger Keith, it would be just go be a hack. You just got to get those minutes in. You got to stand in front of that microphone and get used to being on stage, and quit worrying so much about every set like it's precious. You're just racking up the hours, man, and eventually you'll be good. But I would just agonize. I mean, I probably agonized over my first few 5-minute sets more than I agonize over an hour that I'm recording for an album now.
Sure.
Practicing it in front of my wife, and like she's in bed and I'm standing at the foot of the bed. Okay, and then we got any couples here tonight?
Yeah, and it's like, and you kind of feel like once you kind of like you're saying with like the hour and stuff like that, as far as like building time, like, well, not every joke has to be like the most amazing joke you've ever written, everything, you know what I mean? And you can work on all these things, and there's filler jokes and ending jokes and like all this stuff. It's like there's so much to it, and it's like and just say funny things. Just go ahead and just say funny things, and they'll work out if they're not. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I think so many people forget that you're meant to be silly up there. Like you're supposed to have fun, and the whole point of it is being silly. I mean, I think that's when people get too up into their heads. But I mean, I've definitely been there for years. Like I'm just now, like in the past 3 years or so, I'm really being able to be in the moment on stage.
I think there's a part of us that wants to be cool. Like we all want to be the Lenny Bruce.
Sure.
The comedian that's cool and smooth up there. Hannibal Buress is cool on stage. But most of us aren't. Matt Bronner's so great. I love that guy, but he's not cool. He's a big old geek.
Yeah.
Brian Posehn's cool, but he made his own kind of cool. You know what I mean? The whole like geek chic thing. Like, I mean, he's up there talking about his Star Wars obsession and heavy metal, and that wasn't cool 10 years ago.
Sure. And you I like that geek chic. That's a good take. I like that term. And that's a good description of Brian too. I'd love to see him sometime when he heads up here, because like you're right. I think that we all do want to be cool. Like I've ventured a little bit. I started out as one specific character, and I've like actually kind of loosened that up a little bit, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been really it's given me freedom to write more and to do this and that, and honestly just like loosen up and be like in the moment. I think that's like I think at first it was so hard to. Like when people would talk or heckle or something would happen, I'd be like so nervous because like it was like throwing off my joke. Now it's just like you have to use it. You know what I mean? You can't because
Right.
you know and that's really when like being the comedian comes in. You know what I mean? Like
Otherwise, you're recording. You gotta,
Exactly.
show that you're live in that room.
exactly. From
With that said, anytime I would say anything like that publicly, I feel like I have to put an asterisk in and go, we hate hecklers. If you're hearing this and thinking that this is us going, so hecklers are cool, they're part of the show. They're not, and they should choke on their cheap comedy club chicken sandwich and fucking die.
yeah, exactly. I think beyond even like kind of like screwing with the comedian, it just is kind of like it just makes everybody else but the heckler have a bad time. It's like lighting off fireworks. Like the only person enjoying it, or your wedding, the only person enjoying it are the people who are doing it. You know what I mean? Everybody else is there for you know what I mean. Everybody else.
Yeah, it's very selfish. I mean, every once in a while, if the comic's bombing and the heckler's like a little bit clever, they'll get a laugh. But I feel like most of the time it's just incoherent drunkenness. Like I had a heckler at High Dive last night, and he just kept chiming in every 5 seconds, and I was like, I couldn't even understand him. He was unintelligible. I was like, dude, if you're gonna heckle, at least form a coherent thought. Like, I mean, at least,
do it. Yeah, really do it.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of exceptions. I was doing a joke about the not the Quran, but the Hadith promising the virgins, and that it may be a mistranslation, that it might actually be raisins that the Hadith promises to martyrs. And a guy in the audience, and it wasn't malicious and it wasn't heckling, it's like he just couldn't control himself. He says, Kellogg's will give you 2 scoops, and I fucking died. I was like, can I have that? Can I use that? And he's all, sure. And I did. I added it to my joke, but I always mention that it's something an audience member said. Like the Quran, is offering them however many it is, 70 white raisins or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, Kellogg's will give you 2 scoops. And then what's funny, same joke. I'm up in Seattle and I'm talking about it, and I said, and this is kind of hacky, I heard enough other people doing it that I dropped it, but I talked about what is the appeal of virgins, because I never understood that. I never wanted a virgin. Like, I never was like, oh, my wife better be a virgin. I was like, I'd like someone with more experience than me, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I need someone to teach me. I said, what are you going to do with 72 virgins anyway? And the guy in the audience goes, fuck them. I asked a question and he gave an honest answer, and I didn't feel like it was heckling. I was like, thank you, sir. That is the point that I was missing. Yes. When it comes down to it, we all just want the fucking, yes.
Exactly.
So,
But
that's one little thing slipping out, and then it's funny, as opposed to if that same guy like got encouraged by that, and then like Kyle said, every 5 minutes was spouting out something else, then I would have to kick him in the face.
Exactly. And
that's
like, yeah, and that is entertaining though. Kicking when the comedian beats up a crowd member, I gotta tell you, I always the best.
That clip of the guy with the musical comedian from like the late 80s with the acoustic guitar, you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Yeah.
He smacked the fuck out of this audience member, and then it just like all the rest of the audience were like, oh fuck, like it just completely killed. Like, I'm sure the dude fucking, I don't know what happened to him, but he probably got arrested for assault, but it's fucking nuts. That's like one of the craziest clips ever.
Did you see Jim Jeffries get punched?
No, was it during his gun stuff?
No, I think it was earlier. That's the thing, is he himself talked about it. He's like, I wasn't even saying anything particularly offensive, like the guy must have saved it up from earlier or something. But the funny thing about it to me was how much Jim Jeffries he's obviously not a fighter, because this guy runs on stage and punches him, and Jim Jeffries just drops to the ground and literally crawls through the curtain. I'm just like, oh my God. And people run in and help him, and then he comes back and he's like, oh fuck. It was pretty good.
Jim Jeffries
finished his set. That was the amazing part.
I don't think I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. I don't think he gets kicked around on like the legend status, but I think he was ahead of his time. at the point of like he was telling like kind of like a lot more long form, clever jokes, like like more stuff like around the time when we were like in the midst of like the shock jock, like Kinnison and Andrew Dice Clay era, and I
One
think,
of the best storytellers I've ever heard in my life.
yeah, exactly. And that guy was funny from the get go. Christopher Titus too. Another guy.
This
I
awful
love
thread of misogyny running through with Jeffries.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely problematic, but very, very funny.
So do you want
There's
to?
so many guys like that, though. I always have to put that caveat. I'm like, anytime I talk about Patrice, I'm like, Patrice is a legend, huge misogynist, but
Right.
like I always have to like put that caveat there. Like, it sucks, but yeah, there's so many of them where you're like, wow, that is how they feel.
Yeah.
Patrice just had that way of like talking to you, like it felt like he was talking. You know what I mean? Like, and he just felt like somebody you knew. And I think that was like really
Instant familiarity. He has
Exactly.
that. Yeah, he can go to any room and he's everyone's best friend. Like, it's awesome.
All
So
right,
man, I'll get hate mail for saying this, but can you guys recommend some Patrice clips that would let me see this? Because I got nothing against him, but I haven't seen the clip that would make me a fan. I
Okay.
wasn't that familiar with him, and when he died, every comedian I know was like, "Oh my God, he's the best! He's the reason I do comedy." And I want to share in that experience, but I need to like which
Yeah.
special or which.
I'll send
There's
I'll send you some clips. Yeah.
All right.
The special I really like is Elephant in the Room was his last one. I think it was like 2011, so it was a couple months or maybe even just like a year before he died. But that
Okay.
one, he opens it up by pointing out the lady in the front row has big boobs. It's like that's his opener. He's like,
Okay.
Thank you, audience coordinator, for putting these two titties in the front row. And that's literally
Okay.
like, just from the get-go. He just immediately has like the audience the whole entire time. But he has a really good bit about sexual harassment in that one. He's got a good bit about the football players that went missing. I think there was like a bunch of black football players that ended up going missing, and they're like, this is how they looked for him. They went to the edge of the beach and they went, oh, they're not here.
He has a good. I like it's his bit on like be racist but stay alive. Is that in that one? Where he's like, okay, he's like, if you see like people are like, oh, white guys will be like, no, they'll see a bunch of black guys walking to them, and they'll be like, oh, I'm not gonna cross the road. They're like, no, cross the road, man. He's like, if I see like a bunch of shaved headed white guys walking toward me, I'm gonna cross the road and feel bad, but I'll feel bad and be alive. So that was
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was on that special, but I do remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good bit. So I will, and then he's kind of funny in stuff too. He's real funny on The Office. It's minor, but it's funny if you're into The Office.
Oh yeah, I forget he had a little bit role in that. He was also in Arrested Development for an episode, I believe.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So, all right. Shall we judge our food on our?
Yeah.
So this is a 1 to 5 scale. One being except for one of them we will flip around, but we'll explain that to you in a minute. So on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, and this is on, like you said before, and we always predicate that this is on the fast food scale. This is on the judge on the fast food scale. Yes, if you went into like some like proper taqueria someplace, it would be different.
Right.
But we're comparing this as expectations of fast food go. So presentation 1 through 5.
I'm going to give it on presentation a 4.
Okay.
Felt a little thrown together, but
Sure.
but what do you expect? I mean,
Yeah, sure.
it was wrapped in paper.
What-
Sometimes you get it, and the burrito's an even thickness all the way from one end to the other. It wasn't that. Like that's why when you get it, and you're just like, oh man, someone fucking put some pride into this.
Somebody tried. Right. Kyle?
Yeah, I want to give it a 4 as well. I mean, it wasn't awful. It was definitely a lot better than Taco Bell is sometimes. How, like I was saying, the diaper situation where you got ground beef in the box. I don't want to feel like I'm eating out of a diaper. Yeah, it was good stuff. It was a little thrown together. So 4 for sure.
I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Because I do the reason I'll do that is because of the guacamole was way better looking than I thought it was going to be. Like it was like it had like chunks in it, and it wasn't like evenly spread through. But that's okay because I think it shows that it's actually like 'cause you couldn't evenly spread guacamole through. Like you to put it on top of it. Like so it isn't like out of a pump bag. It's out of
With that gun.
yeah, exactly. There's none of that. The guac gun, exactly. So like, I'll give him credit for like, and like I saw like chunk of avocado in that.
Yeah, I did too.
And that that made me happy. So, cool.
Gun. That's a gun I'll put in my mouth is the guac gun.
Guac gun.
If you know someone that works at one of those places, you could get them to let you just put the guac gun in your mouth. It's quite an experience we should all have at least once.
I want like a slow motion video of the guac like going into my mouth. I think that's like really like.
I would absolutely masturbate to that.
I will send it to you right away.
Please do.
Okay.
Get your guacs off.
I'm already just thinking about it. You gotta get that over.
It could be. I should.
I'm gonna be adding some sour cream to that guacamole, my friend.
And that may be what I was baiting. So thank you for taste 1 through 5 on taste.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
It was really good.
It was.
There's room for it to be better, but it was really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna jump. I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna split the difference. I'm gonna go for a 4 as well. If it was just the taco, I think I would have done a 5 because the taco was good. It had like a lot of fresh vegetables and and it's the burrito was delicious, but kind of one note through all, which is kind of burrito-ish. But like I think like if I had gotten the 8 layer, I might have been happier because it would have had different stuff in it. But like there was just a lot of like. Just like one flavor through the burrito, which is a little, there wasn't like much to look forward to. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you were like, oh, here's a chunk of something or something fresh or something different. So, yeah, I'm gonna go 4 too. Kyle?
Yeah, I would say 4 as well. I'm a conformist here, but yeah, I thought it was like super fresh. Definitely better ingredients than Taco Bell would have. And that's kind of, I don't mean to make that comparison too much, but fast food, taco, I mean, those are kind of the two options. And this is actually my first time having Del Taco. So this is,
wow.
Yeah, this is really nice because I mean, I'm from Florida originally, and it seems like more of a West Coast exclusive. So it's always fun for me to eat these West Coast exclusive type things. Like the first time going to Jack in the Box was a big trip for me. Like.
Well, you guys get to Sacramento, and I'm going to take you to Jim Boy's. And that's the comparison I'm making when I eat this. They're the gold standard in Sacramento for fast food Mexican.
Okay.
Jim Boy's is delicious. So greasy. They give it to you in this brown bag, and the bag is see-through before you
that's
get
beautiful.
the food out.
Nice. That's
delightful, yeah.
We will make it to Sacramento, to be honest with you, at some point.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah, we got to do that. We got hit some rooms and tell some jokes.
You can totally stay with when you guys come. You have a place to stay with Johnny.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
All right.
I like that you're just offering up Johnny's house. You're like,
yeah. House? No, he's got a room in an apartment. He rents a room, and you can stay there. Just tell him I said.
I will.
All right, but I get to be in the middle.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair.
Lucky Pierre, they call that position.
Lucky.
Mouthfeel. What is how do we do mouthfeel?
I was thinking about that when I'm going to give that a 4.5. The taco was great. It was crispy, even though from the time I ordered it until we ate it on the show was a little longer than the amount of time I would let elapse.
Right.
It was still good. It was still crispy. And then as I was eating the tortilla, as I was finishing the last bite of it, I thought to myself, usually the last bite of the burrito where the tortilla is folded over, you get almost too much tortilla, isn't good because it's a little stale and It was good. It was good. It was a nice, fluffy. Fluffy's not the right word, but not stale. It was fresh, and so I'm gonna give it a 4.5 on mouthfeel.
Cool. Kyle?
Yeah, I'm gonna go full 5 on this one. It just even down to the Beyond meat was fantastic. It had kind of a chew to it, like a little bit of a chew, I would say, but just like a nice texture, and it almost was like I've never had the Beyond at the point where it almost felt like pulled meat. Like that's kind of the texture of that, and that was really good. Like you were saying with the crunch with the taco was fantastic, and the burrito that was way better than like a grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell, where you get to the end and you're like, this is disgusting. But no, it's like everything was evenly spread throughout, so the mouthfeel was really enjoyable. I'd give it a 5.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go 5 too. It was great. It was like real food. It was like you know what I mean. Like it was like food. So yeah, I'll give it a 5 as well. Like I like the crunchiness of the, like you're saying, like my taco was still crunchy. And I postmated mine, so it came a long way. It came a long way before and I had got it like 15 minutes before we ate it. So my food. Yeah,
Your Postmates driver probably licked it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
keep
I'm
it
hoping. So, all right, this one we kind of flip around a little bit. This is overall risk factor, which means how sick will it make you? How you know what I mean? So 1 being not sick at all, 5 being like the most sick. Like how do you feel basically?
Now we need to give another disclaimer because I have a condition called ulcerative colitis.
Okay, all right.
Which gives me a little bit of a sensitive stomach.
Right.
And so I shouldn't eat stuff like this too often.
Mm-hmm.
Then add to that the fact that I have been trying to eat really healthy, and I feel like your tolerance, you build up or let down your tolerance. So normally, I think that might be a nice, healthy 2. It's not going to make me feel great. I'm going to know I ate it, but it's not going to make me feel awful.
Right.
But with everything I have going on, I think I'm going to give it a 3. I'm guessing I'm going to remember later that I ate this.
Okay. All right. I think that's a good take. Kyle.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 3 as well because I'm in the same boat because I've actually this show's helped me go on a diet because this is like my cheat day basically. So my tolerance I took a big tea break from fast food, so this is gonna disrupt a few things definitely later on. But even Infinity Room did though. So I mean, Infinity Room was amazing vegan food, but it's still like just the grease of the tater tots and stuff. Like just a little. I'm a little sensitive boy now.
That's what people don't realize with vegan. I'm like, tater tots are vegan. I mean, it's not health food. You can still eat shit and be vegan, which is great. But then you also got to watch your tummy. Do you have a bidet?
I do. Yes.
No, I need one. This is a lot of information, but I used to have the sprayer in the shower, and that was amazing. I had the nozzle.
My butt is so happy with that bidet.
Yeah, it's such a like why aren't we haven't we been doing this the whole time? It's like it's really it just really makes everything just so much better. I mean, there's times you just gotta sit there and let it run. You know what I mean? And you're just like, this is all right. This is all right. You know what I mean?
Like, give it a few extra cycles. Yeah,
exactly.
I think toilet paper, if it wasn't a tradition, people would laugh in your fucking face if you suggested really soft paper, just really soft paper, right? I mean,
I got some shit on me. Oh, here, just wipe it off with this dry paper.
Exactly. Like if you have shit on your hand, you are not just wiping it off. You know what I mean? You are washing it off. Right. But we've just decided exactly. So what I hear is that the bidet was it was not popular in America because they associated it with prostitutes in France. So we ended up with that you can look that up. I don't know 100%, but that
See,
is
typical puritanical, stinky
Exactly.
ass American bullshit.
exactly. It ruins everything. And now we're all like now just discovering. Like we're sitting on the thing filled with water that already spits out water. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it already has like all of the things. You know what I mean? All we have to do is just do it.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna need to get. I definitely want to get one. 'Cause you can just put it like right on now. They've got those like little ones, right?
yeah, I got
That's what we got. It was the whole toilet seat and cover, but we hooked that on, and then we plugged it into the same water source as the toilet, and then you do need an outlet. We needed an outlet to plug it into, but it's great.
I mean, that's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I said I'm not a handy person particularly, and I set it up in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's super easy.
Right.
Yeah. And they're not even expensive. Just do it. You'll be happy. And then the final is overall grubbing.
Ryan, you never rated, you never gave us your.
Yeah. I was going to go with 3 too, because it was.
I'm just glad I was here to keep this podcast on track.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I was going to go 3 as well. Honestly, if it was just the taco, I probably would have went 1.5 because
Right.
taco was cool. It was filled with vegetables. I love vegetables, so it's cool. Burrito was a little heavier, so like if I was grubbing down in one of those burritos, like you're definitely gonna feel the effects of like rice and beans and fast food stuff,
Right.
Mixed together. But without the cheese, though, I will say though that it takes a little of that risk factor. As if I were to eat a Taco Bell burrito of the same girth, and with the cheese and the Taco Bell weird ground beef, I would feel clearly in the 5 range. Because if there's one thing Taco Bell does not do well is go big. They do better on smaller things. More Taco Bell is never better. Like, you know what I mean? Like clever things, sure. Like a chalupa made out of chicken breast, okay, fine, whatever. But like when they go like the double stuffed or the double stacked crunch wrap,
That chalupa was disgusting. That big boy chalupa they had that was like long. That thing, you couldn't even pick it up. It like fell apart.
It was the human centipede. It was the human centipede. Of
Human centipede. The human centipede chalupa.
I stole that joke from somebody. I don't know who it is. So if you're watching, I'm sorry. Like I just saw it out there. I'm not a joke thief. It worked. I'm spreading your joke. I'm not. I was actually. You know what I was thinking the other day? It's like the people who write street jokes. I don't know who these people are, but like, how terrible has it got to be? Like you write this joke and then it just goes out there and you have no idea how good it does. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you don't know how long it will spread. You know what I mean? Like. I don't know.
You just gotta hope that people are still becoming dads, because those are the majority of people right at this age of kids. They give you a book of street jokes.
Right. But there's got to be a street joke writer, right? Is somebody a street joke writer?
Someone wrote each of those jokes. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of weird to think about, like who did this and how did they get this out there?
And it was surprising when I was a kid. You'd go to another town, you'd go to the other side of the country, and they had the same, like, Glory, Glory, Hallelujah, teacher hit me with a ruler, Jingle Bells, Batman Smells. We sang all the same stuff, even the dirty jokes. We had all the same dirty jokes. I go to tell my cousin in New York a dirty joke, he knows it. And I always wondered, this is pre-internet. And we weren't getting them from cable TV. We weren't
no.
There was this like, I think it was kids passing it to their cousins, and it just made its way around the country. But we all had almost all the same jokes. Like I was kind of like, cool, I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to come back with a bunch of dirty jokes. I'll be the hit of the schoolyard. But no, they just had all the same jokes we had.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a network of cousins. It's like
this has got a New York accent. No.
Right. Yeah, it's a weird thing, but like I said, you will never know how good it's done. You will never know like if it didn't make it past the Mississippi River. You know what I mean? Like you'll never.
Right. There's one measurement. and that is if Drew Carey tells it. And I'm not calling Drew Carey a joke thief, because Drew always tells you when he's telling a street joke. But he not only loves to tell street jokes, he has excellent taste in street jokes, and he tells them well. Yeah. I love when Drew Carey drops, and I don't even know if Drew does stand up anymore, but but when he did,
I have that, what is it, Dirty Jokes and Beer or whatever, or like 101 Dirty Jokes.
Oh my God, the big dick section of that book is the greatest thing that ever happened, especially because they did an audio book of it. So him saying things like, my dick's so big, my dick has a dick, and my dick's dick is bigger than your dick. His big dick jokes are the best.
Great. All right, grubbin. Overall grubbin, and we describe grubbin as like a plate of nachos. You know, like just like this is like we dig this. It's just grubbin.
You just cost Del Taco a point by mentioning nachos.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
nachos are the ultimate food. Yeah. I fucking love nachos. There's nothing that beats a plate of well-made nachos. And I was ready to give this a 5 on grubbability, because it was pretty grubbin'. Sure. And then you made me think of nachos, and I was like, if nachos would be a 5, I'm going to give this a 4. I'm going to give it a 4 just because it wasn't nachos.
I'm sorry, Del Taco brass who are listening. I fucked it all up. I'm sorry. 4 is good. What do you think, Kyle?
I would go with a 4, considering how fast I ate that burrito, for sure. Yeah. Like, I mean, it was gone. I wish I probably could have eaten 2 easily of the burrito. It goes down easy. It's very, as they would say for like an IPA, it's very sessionable. Those are sessionable burritos, I would say. A couple of them. But yeah, I'd go 4 on that one.
I'm gonna go 3.5. I got like a little full towards the middle of the burrito, and like it kind of like I walled a little bit where like I didn't feel like getting sick off of it. Like where if I eat nachos, I'll eat them until I'm like ill. You know what I mean? Right. And so like where like I will.
You'll go throw up so you can eat some more.
Exactly. I go full on Greek or Roman. I can't remember which one ever had the puke. Trough.
The vomitorium.
The vomitorium. Yeah. I'll go that on it, but I didn't feel like going there with that. So like that's like a little bit of that's got to be a half a point off for it. So I'm gonna go 3.5, but that's still saying like I will order this again. Actually, if I go for Del Taco, I will probably get some of their vegetarian. It's like it's at Starbucks right now. They have the Impossible sausage patty. It's not vegan, but I just order that just in general because it's nice to not have to eat pork.
And Pete's has the all plant-based. So they have one that's 100% vegan as it's ordered. Cool. And it's the Just Egg, which is a vegan egg substitute. Mm-hmm. What a confusing name to give a thing that's not egg. It's called Just Egg. Yeah, but they have the Just Egg, and then they have some kind of the vegan cheese and the sausage, and it's on a thin bagel. It's pretty decent.
Sure. That sounds fantastic. And it's just nice, even like for us meat eaters, to have options that, like, you know what I mean? We can just we have a really good. There's a couple of them in town. The next time you come to town, I'll take you to one, Keith. It's a vegan Indian food.
Okay.
And they're but it's like specifically vegan. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a newer taste on it. And so we'll and it's good. So
I love eating in Portland, man. Portland is I always eat so well.
Yeah, it's a good town for any of that. It was doing vegan stuff on menus in this town long before it was a thing, and you would like go into.
I know. You guys that are from there are tired of hearing about this, but to us outsiders, it's fascinating. When me and Johnny were there, we went to the vegan strip club.
Yeah, went to Devil's Point.
El Diablo.
Casa Diablo. Sorry.
Casa Diablo.
Right.
So Johnny was willing to drop a little more coin than I was, so he's off, getting the private dance. I hope I'm not spilling his secrets here, but he was single at the time. And I'm sitting there, and this girl comes over and starts chatting me up, and I said, "Look, I want to be honest with you because I know you're making a living. I don't have any more money to spend. I'm just waiting for my buddy to get out from his dance. And she says, that's okay. It's the end of the night. I made my money. And she just starts talking to me about her horse rescue organization thing that she does. And it's one of those times where I thought, this is the best picture of who me and Johnny are as people. We're in a vegan strip club. He's getting a lap dance, and I'm talking to a girl about her horse rescue. I was like, this is just us in a nutshell, you know? It's just refined Keith and Johnny on the road, yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's really funny.
Yeah, that place has become quite the, I know the guy who owns it because it used to be, before the strip club, it was a vegan pirate restaurant.
Yes.
And he didn't, and then that wasn't working, so he just decided to make it a vegan strip club.
Add strippers. Whenever something doesn't work, and his name, he goes by Johnny Diablo, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting character.
Yeah, he's from LA, of course. So he's got a lot of LA to him. But no, I know.
And he's also pure Portland.
Yeah, no, he rode that wave very well. So cool. Well, what do you got coming up? You got anything you want to plug? You want to
Yeah, a couple things I'm real excited about. I still have my special that you mentioned, Not for Rehire, is on Amazon Prime, and if you have Roku, I think it's a featured comedy special on Roku now as well. But yeah, if you can like it or review it on Prime, that's like the best thing in the world for me. It affects the algorithm, and then you hit a certain point, and then like hundreds of more people see it all of a sudden, which has been really a nice ride. I have a book out called Punching Nazis and Other Good Ideas. And somehow I conned a real publisher, Skyhorse Books, into putting it out. So it's available everywhere. It wasn't. My next book is called What I Was Arrested For, and that'll be on a smaller indie press called Clash Books. And that should be out in, I think, 4 or 5 months. And that one's just all arrest stories. So, go see my special, buy my books, and I'm going to be touring with my arrest stories also. And look for me and Johnny's tour, because it's gonna happen eventually.
Awesome. Kyle, you got anything coming up?
I've got I'm gonna be out in Ashland pretty soon. I'm gonna do 2 nights out there, and then gonna be in the comedy voice competition at Tacoma Comedy Club on the 27th, and I'm going to be at Portland's Funniest Person contest at Helium Comedy Club on the 18th. And
good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be back at it. And then I'm just going to be cruising around again. It's just hitting the road slowly, trying to piece together a network of people so I can do a loop around the Pacific Northwest here.
And dip down to Sacramento. Remember, you could stay with Johnny.
Yeah, definitely.
You got a place here in Sacramento.
It's always
and I'll
good
take you, and I'm good for 1 cup of coffee. I will make you one of the best cups of coffee you've ever had. I promise.
That sounds fantastic.
But drink it over at Johnny's.
I'll use his coasters. Yeah.
Yes.
Coaster, I should say.
Right. He's got one. Take turns.
Let me see. I got on the 14th. I'm doing Portland's Funniest. So I'm excited for that.
I'd wish you good luck, but I already wished.
Yeah,
Kyle
that's okay.
good luck,
That's okay. Kyle's been doing it longer than I have. So on the 22nd, I will be at the Cruise Room Annex, one of my favorite rooms, which we all thought we lost during the blip. I call it the blip because that's what they call it in the MCU. So I'm calling it the blip. We thought but the cruise room closed, but the annex stayed alive. So I will be doing that room again. I'm excited for that. I'll be up at I'm hitting a couple of Tacoma open mics soon. I have a bunch of Hard Times articles. I had a really popular one come out on the 4th of July, which was my birthday, and it really pissed off a bunch of chuds. So if you go see the one about truck flags, that is mine, and it was great because it was my birthday, and I was able to piss off thousands of Trump
Nice.
supporters. So that's
Happy
which
birthday.
that's like kind of like that's like my opus. You know what I mean? So that's it. So. Yeah, go check that out. Come down if you are Portland. Come down to the Cruiser and get out and support comedy. There's a lot of people who have done this for a long time and they had a tough year. So get back out there and support comedy. Get out of your house. You've been there. I know you've been there. So get out there and do it and tip heavily and be cool. Keith, thank you so much for making this happen today. We really appreciate you and all.
Oh, thank you. It was a blast.
Cool.
Yeah,
And,
very nice to meet you, Keith. I'm a big fan of your stuff. I've been listening to you on Spotify. Very funny.
Oh,
man.
thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it.
All right, well, come on back soon for another episode of Supersize We, where we sit down with some of the funniest people that we know and eat food and talk about it and get supersized and all that stuff. Thank you, and take care of each other and support fast food workers. They are neighbors, they are community, they are people, and they do an important job, and it is no less than anything else. It takes a society of people, so always 100% support fast food workers.
Amen. $15 an hour minimum.
Yeah. Fuck it, West Coast 20. That's my
For sure.
pay them. So thank you.